Shift your energy right now, my dear. Not because everything outside you is perfect, but because your spirit is tired of carrying the same heaviness. You do not have to wait until every problem is solved before you allow one softer breath to enter your body. You do not have to wait until the money changes, the message arrives, the door opens, the pain leaves, or the whole path becomes clear. Let your shoulders drop. Let your jaw soften. Place one hand over your heart if you can, and let this moment become a small opening. Maybe you have been holding too much. Maybe you have been thinking about the same thing again and again, as if your mind is trying to solve your whole life in one night. Maybe you woke up with a heavy feeling and did not even know why. Maybe the same fear has been sitting in your chest for days, weeks, or even longer. Maybe you have tried to be strong for everyone else while quietly wondering, when will I feel lighter? When will my life begin to lift? Breathe. Right here. You do not need to fight yourself in order to change. You do not need to shame yourself into peace. You do not need to force a happy face over a tired heart. The energy shift begins gently. It begins when you stop saying, I must carry all of this, and begin saying, I can release one little piece now. It begins when you remember that your inner world is not a locked room. A window can open, fresh air can enter. A new feeling can come in slowly, lovingly, and safely. I am allowed to feel lighter now. I do not have to carry yesterday's energy into this moment. Life can begin lifting from within me. My dear, the heavy feeling may seem strong, but it is not the whole truth of you. It may be loud, but it is not your master. It may be familiar, but familiar does not mean permanent. Sometimes the mind returns to the same worry because it has practiced that path for so long. Sometimes the body holds the same fear because it has learned to brace before anything even happens. Sometimes the heart feels tired because it has been trying to stay open in places where it did not feel safe. But listen gently. A feeling can pass through you without becoming your identity. A thought can appear without becoming your future. A fear can rise without becoming your guide. You are allowed to notice what is happening inside you and still choose another direction. You are allowed to say, yes, this is how I feel right now, but it is not the final truth of my life. The old energy says, nothing is changing. The new energy says, something is changing in me. The old energy says, this is how it always goes. The new energy says, a new pattern can begin today. The old energy says, you are too tired. The new energy says, one breath is enough to begin. This is not about pretending. This is not about denying your pain. This is not about acting as if life has no challenges. It is about refusing to let the challenge become the whole sky. It is about saying, this cloud is here, but there is still light beyond it. It is about opening one window in the closed room of your mind and letting love enter. Give yourself one breath, not a perfect breath, not a deep spiritual breath that you must do correctly. Just one honest breath. Let the air come in. Let it leave. Let your body know that for this one small moment, you are not asking it to solve everything. You are only asking it to receive a little kindness. You do not have to know what comes next. You do not have to fix every mistake. You do not have to carry every person. You do not have to answer every fear. You do not have to become a new person before sunset. You only have to begin. Softly. The body understands small signals. When you soften your jaw, the body hears. Maybe we are not in danger right now. When your shoulders drop, the body hears. Maybe I do not have to hold the whole world. When your hand rests on your heart, the body hears. Someone is here with me, and that someone is you. You are returning to yourself. You are becoming the safe place you were waiting for. There is a small, tight place at the center of the chest where many people carry worry. Perhaps you feel it now. Do not push it away. Do not fight it. Do not call it wrong. Just bring one kind breath there. Let the breath touch the tight place like warm air entering a cold room. Say quietly, I am here. I am listening. I do not have to be afraid of my own heart. The heavy energy may have a story. It may say, look at what happened. It may say, look at what has not arrived. It may say, look at what they did, what you lost, what you missed, what you fear. And yes, some of that may be real. We do not need to argue with reality. We only need to stop giving the old story the power to decide the rest of your life. Your life does not lift because you hate where you are. Your life begins to lift because you bring love into where you are. This is very important. Hatred keeps you tied to the old energy. Shame keeps you looking backward. Fear keeps you gripping the same painful picture. But love says, let us begin again. Love says, let us take one breath. Love says, let us open the window. Love says, this moment can become softer. Maybe you have been carrying the weight of your phone in your hand, waiting for a message, checking again, hoping for a sign that you are safe, wanted, chosen, remembered, or supported. Maybe you have refreshed the same worry in your mind more times than you can count. But today, right now, you can put the phone down in your spirit, even if it is still in your hand. You can stop asking the outside world to be the only source of your peace. You can return to the place inside you that life has never left. Breathe. You are still here. And because you are still here, something new can begin. The next part is important because many people try to change their life while still living inside the same old energy. They want a new reality. but they keep breathing the old fear. They want love, but they keep speaking to themselves with rejection. They want peace, but they keep holding the body like a battlefield. They want abundance, but they keep repeating lack in every thought. They want healing, but they keep treating themselves as if they are broken beyond repair. My dear, this is not said to blame you. Blame makes the heart close. This is said to give you your power back. You do not have to change everything outside in order to begin. You can change the feeling you keep returning to. You can change the voice you use inside. You can change the way you stand in front of the old reality. You can change the breath you take before you react. And every small inner change begins to tell life a new story. The first shift may be quiet. It may not look like a miracle from the outside. It may simply be the moment you do not attack yourself. It may be the moment you do not send the desperate message. It may be the moment you stop repeating, "Nothing ever works for me." It may be the moment you drink water, open the curtains, take one breath, or speak to your body with care instead of fear. Small does not mean weak. A seed is small. A breath is small. A beginning is small. But everything that grows starts in a small place. I choose one softer thought now. I choose one kinder breath now. I choose one lighter energy now. Your energy is the room your life enters, my dear. If the inner room is full of fear, every thought feels heavy. If the inner room is full of shame, every delay feels like punishment. If the inner room is full of lack, every bill feels like proof that life is against you. But when the inner room begins to fill with love, even a difficult moment can feel less final. Even an unanswered question can feel less frightening. Even a slow season can feel like preparation instead of rejection. Your energy is not a strange or hard idea. It is very simple. It is the tone inside you. It is the way you speak to yourself when no one else can hear. It is the feeling in your body when you think about tomorrow. It is the way you meet the morning. It is the way you answer fear. It is the way you look at what has not changed yet. Your energy is the voice you hear inside. Your energy is the breath you take before you answer life. Your energy is the feeling you practice again and again. Your energy is the place you return to when the world becomes loud. If your energy has been heavy, that does not mean you have failed. It means you have been carrying something that needs love. It means your inner room needs air. It means the heart needs softness. It means the body needs safety. It means the mind needs new words. And all of this can begin now. Imagine your inner world like a room. Maybe for a long time, this room has held old worries, old voices, old fears, and old memories. Maybe the curtains have been closed. Maybe the air has felt still. Maybe the same sentence has been written across the walls. I am not safe. I am not enough. Nothing changes. And because you have lived in that room for so long, you may have started to think it is normal. But today, you are not destroying the room. You are not fighting the room. You are not shaming the room for being heavy. You are simply opening a window. You are letting one new thought enter. You are letting one kind word move through the air. You are letting the room remember light. This is how energy shifts. Not always all at once, not always with a big sign. Sometimes the shift is very quiet. You notice one fearful thought, and you do not follow it all the way down. You notice your shoulders rising, and you let them drop. You notice the old story beginning, and you say, "No, not like this today. I can speak to myself with love." Notice how your body feels when you think about your problem. Does your chest tighten? Does your breath become smaller? Does the air just above your collarbones feel tight? Do your shoulders move closer to your ears? Now soften just one place, only one. Let the shoulders fall a little. Let the breath come lower. Let your face relax. You do not have to change the whole body. One place is enough to begin. Worry says, "Look at what is missing." Trust says, "Look at what is still possible." Worry says, "You must know the whole answer now." Trust says, "One step will be shown." Worry says, "This delay means nothing is working." Trust says, "Something may be moving where I cannot see." Worry is not your enemy. It is a frightened part of you trying to protect you. But worry does not see the whole picture. Worry only sees danger. Worry on the common. He sees the closed door. Worry only sees what has not happened yet. Trust does not deny the closed door. Trust simply says, there may be another door. There may be another time. There may be another way. There may be support I have not noticed yet. This is why your energy matters. The energy you live in becomes the place you look from. If you look from fear, you find more fear. If you look from lack, you find more lack. If you look from love, you begin to notice help, peace, ideas, guidance, small openings, and gentle signs. For 30 seconds, do not react to the old fear. Just pause. 30 seconds may sound small, but it is powerful. In those 30 seconds, you are telling the old pattern, "You do not own me." You are telling the body, "We do not have to run immediately." You are telling the mind, "We can choose before we follow." That pause is a doorway. Pause, breathe, choose. Before we go deeper, there is one mistake that keeps people stuck in heavy energy without realizing it. They think they must feel perfect in order to shift. They think if fear comes back, they have failed. They think if sadness rises, they are not spiritual enough. They think if the body is still tense, nothing is working. But my dear, that is not true. You do not need perfect energy. You need a loving return. You may feel fear and still return to trust. You may feel sadness and still speak gently to yourself. You may feel tired and still choose one soft thought. You may feel uncertain and still open your hands to life. The goal is not to never feel heavy again. The goal is to stop making heaviness your home. The inner room changes through return. Again and again, you return. You return to the breath. You return to kind words. You return to your heart. You return to what is still good. You return to the thought that life may be helping you in ways you do not understand yet. Each return is a small act of healing. My energy is becoming softer. My heart is learning to feel safe. I welcome a lighter way of living. Life meets you through your inner state. This does not mean you are to blame for every hard thing that has happened. No, that would be cruel, and love is never cruel. It means your inner state affects how you move through what has happened. It affects what you notice. It affects what you choose. It affects what you allow. It affects how long you keep feeding a story that hurts you. Two people can stand in front of the same closed door. One says, "This proves I am rejected." The other says, "This may be a redirection." The door is the same. The energy is different. The meaning is different. The next choice is different. When your inner state is heavy, every delay may feel like punishment. When your inner state is softer, a delay may feel like space to prepare. When your inner state is full of lack, someone else's blessing may feel like proof that there is less for you. When your inner state is open, someone else's blessing may remind you that good is possible. When your inner state is ruled by fear, silence may feel like danger. When your inner state is rooted in love, silence may become a place to come home to yourself. This is why you are not waiting for life to lift before you shift. You are shifting so life can begin to lift. You are changing the room. You are opening the window. You are letting the old air move out. You are making space for a new feeling, a new thought, a new response, and a new kind of day. Today, I stop feeding the fear. Today, I stop feeding the old name I called myself. Today, I stop feeding the story that says nothing can change. Today, I stop feeding the belief that one hard season is the whole story of my life. My dear heavy energy often stays alive because the mind keeps telling the same story with the same feeling. The story may be about love. No one chooses me. The story may be about money. There is never enough. The story may be about the body. Something is always wrong. The story may be about the future. It will never work out for me. And because the story has been repeated so many times, it begins to feel like truth. But a repeated story is not always truth. Sometimes it is only a practiced path. Attention is like water in the garden of the mind. Whatever you water begins to grow. If you water fear all day, fear grows thick. If you water lack all day, lack spreads. If you water old pain all day, old pain begins to cover every new moment. And often, Without meaning to, people water the very thing they say they want to release. They complain about it. They replay it. They explain it to others again and again. They check for it. They expect it. They wake up and look for proof that it is still there. They go to sleep with it in the mind. And then they wonder why the old energy feels so strong. Notice, this is not blame. This is power. Because if attention feeds the old story, attention can also feed a new one. The next part is the one most people miss. You do not have to deny reality to stop feeding it. You can handle what is here without worshiping the problem. You can pay the bill without saying, I am doomed. You can notice the silence without saying, I am unloved. You can feel the pain without saying, my body is against me. You can face the delay without saying, life has forgotten me. There is a difference between dealing with something and becoming it. You may need to make a call. Make it. You may need to organize your money. Do it gently. You may need to rest. Rest without guilt. You may need to speak the truth. Speak it with love. You may need to ask for help. Ask without shame. Practical action is beautiful, but do not wrap every action in fear. Do not make every task a punishment. Do not let one problem become the name you call your whole life. You are not your bank account. You are not your relationship. See, Tatus. You are not the message that did not arrive. You are not the old mistake. You are not the family story. You are not the fear that visits at night. You are a living soul, still growing, still learning, still able to choose again. Old story says, this always happens to me. Loving truth says, an old pattern is leaving me. Old story says, nothing ever works. Loving truth says, something new is forming now. Old story says, I should give up. Loving truth says, I can take one gentle step. Today, give yourself 3 loving interruptions. Only 3, not 50, not a long list. Not a heavy task, just 3 moments when you notice the old story and gently interrupt it. The first interruption may come in the morning when your mind begins to pick up yesterday's fear. You can say, this is an old story. I can choose again. The second interruption may come when you look at something outside you and feel your body tighten. You can place one hand on your chest and feel the breath move under your hand. Then say, this is here now, but it is not my final truth. The third interruption may come before sleep, when the mind wants to replay everything. You can say, I bless this day. I release the old fear. I let my energy rest. These interruptions are not small. They are moments when you stop watering the weed. They are moments when you turn toward the flower. They are moments when the old pattern reaches for you and you lovingly choose not to give it your whole life force. Pause. Choose. Again. You are allowed to interrupt fear. You are allowed to interrupt shame. You are allowed to interrupt the voice that says you are behind, forgotten, rejected, or stuck. You are allowed to stop mid-thought and say, "No, my dear heart, we are not speaking to ourselves that way today." Think of your mind as a garden. Some thoughts are flowers. They bring peace, strength, hope, love, and clear action. Some thoughts are weeds. They spread quickly and crowd the light. You do not need to hate the weeds. You only need to stop giving them all the water. A fearful thought may appear. That is normal. A jealous thought may appear. A sad thought may appear. An angry thought may appear. A thought of lack may appear. The thought appearing is not the problem. The question is, will you build a home around it? Will you repeat it until your body believes it? Will you carry it into every room of your day? Or will you notice it and return to love? The garden does not become beautiful because no weed ever appears. It becomes beautiful because you keep tending it. You keep choosing what you feed. You keep returning with patience. You keep planting what you want to grow. Today I stop feeding the fear. Today I stop feeding the old pain. Today I stop feeding the belief that life is against me. Today I water peace. My dear, this is a deep energy shift. When you stop feeding the heavy story, you may feel strange at first. The old mind may say, "But we always think this way." The old body may say, "But this fear feels familiar." The old pattern may say, "Come back, keep repeating me." And you can answer, "I see you, but I am choosing something new now." Stay with this, because this one shift can change the way you meet every problem. Your attention is your power. Where your attention goes again and again, your energy follows. Where your energy follows, your life begins to organize. If all your attention goes to what is missing, your body may live in lack even when support is present. If all your attention goes to what hurt you, your heart may miss the kindness that is trying to reach you now. If all your attention goes to what might go wrong, your mind may miss the one thing that is already going right. This does not mean you ignore pain. It means pain is not the only thing you honor. It means the problem is not the only thing allowed to speak. It means fear does not get every morning, every night, every breath, every thought, every prayer, and every piece of your imagination. You can say, "Yes, this is difficult, and still, I am supported." You can say, "Yes, this is uncertain, and still, I can breathe." You can say, "Yes, this has not changed yet, and still, something new is growing in me." You can say, "Yes, I feel afraid, and still, I choose love." This is not fake. This is balanced. This is loving. This is how you stop making the old story your whole life. One of the deepest ways people feed heavy energy is by making the problem part of their identity. They do not just say, "I am facing money stress." They say, "I am always broke." They do not just say, "I feel lonely today." They say, no one ever loves me. They do not just say, my body needs care. They say, my body is failing me. They do not just say, this season is slow. They say, I am stuck. My dear, be careful what name you give yourself. The mind listens. The body listens. Life listens through the way you keep seeing yourself. You can describe a situation without becoming it. You can say, money is asking for my attention right now, instead of, I am poor forever. You can say, my heart is healing, instead of, I am unlovable. You can say, my body is asking for support, instead of, my body is against me. You can say, this season is changing me, instead of, nothing changes for me. Words are not everything, but they are not nothing. They are seeds. They are water. They are instructions. They are the sound you live inside. I stop giving my life force to fear. I return my attention to love. Something new is growing in me now. The old story may still try to return. Of course it may. It has been practiced. It knows your weak moments. It knows when you are tired. It knows when you are out. One. It knows when the room is quiet and the mind begins reaching for familiar fear. So if the old story comes back, do not make that a failure. Do not say, I thought I was healed. Why am I thinking this again? Just notice. Notice. There it is, the old path. Then choose again. Healing is not always the old story never appearing. Healing is noticing sooner. Healing is following it for less time. Healing is speaking to yourself with more kindness when it returns. Healing is not letting one heavy thought become a whole heavy day. Healing is the sacred pause where you say, I know this road and I do not have to walk it all the way today. You may walk a few steps down the old road before you wake up. That is all right. Turn around gently. No shame, no drama, no attack. Just return. Return to the breath. Return to the heart. Return to the new sentence. Return to the garden you are choosing to water. The mind may ask, but what if the lighter story is not true yet? My dear, the heavy story may not be fully true either. It may only be familiar. It may only be old pain speaking loudly. It may only be fear trying to prepare you by repeating the worst ending. A lighter story does not have to be a lie. It can be a new direction. Instead of nothing works, you can say, I am open to one thing working today. Instead of, I am alone, you can say, I am learning to support myself, and support can reach me. Instead of, I am stuck, you can say, one small step is available to me. Instead of, life is heavy, you can say, my energy can begin to lift now. The lighter story does not need to be huge. In fact, it is better when it is gentle enough for the body to receive. Do not force the mind to jump from despair to perfect faith in 1 second. Let it take one kind step. Let it move from nothing can change to maybe something can change. Let it move from I am not safe to in this breath I can soften. Let it move from I am forgotten to life may be supporting me in quiet ways. Maybe that little word can open a door. Maybe I am not stuck forever. Maybe this heavy feeling can pass. Maybe love is closer than I think. Maybe life is beginning to lift from within me. Another way heavy energy stays alive is through rehearsal. The mind keeps taking old pain and practicing it as the future. It says, because this happened before, it will happen again. It says, because I was hurt before, love will hurt again. It says, because money was hard before, money will always be hard. It says, because I failed once, I should not try. This is how the past dresses itself as wisdom. But not every warning from the past is true guidance. Sometimes it is only an old wound asking not to be hurt again. You can honor what happened without letting it write every future page. You can say, yes, I have known pain, and I am also open to peace. You can say, yes, I have been disappointed, and I am also open to support. You can say, yes, I have made mistakes, and I am also allowed to learn. You can say, yes, I have carried heavy energy, and I am also allowed to feel lighter now. The past may explain why you feel afraid. It does not have to decide what you choose next. My dear, stop rehearsing the old ending. Stop giving every new day the same old script. Stop entering every new moment already prepared to be disappointed. Let life surprise you. Let yourself respond differently. Let one small space open between what happened before and what may happen now. Open. Let there be space. Let there be a new possibility. By now, the first 3 teachings have begun to join together inside you. First, you learned that you can shift your energy right now, not by forcing life to be perfect, but by opening one soft window within. Then you learned that your energy is the room your life enters, the inner space that shapes how you see, feel, choose, and respond. And now you are learning to stop feeding the heavy story, because your attention is water, and what you water grows. This is not a small practice. This is how a life begins to lift. Not all at once, not by pressure, not by pretending, but by a gentle return to love again and again. When the old heaviness comes, open the window. When the inner room feels dark, bring one kind thought. When the heavy story asks for your attention, choose what you water. Breathe. Begin again. You are not trying to become perfect. You are learning to become present. You are learning to stop abandoning yourself when fear appears. You are learning to give your body a signal of safety. You are learning to let your words become softer. You are learning to let your attention serve the life you want, not the fear you are leaving. Right now, place one hand over your heart again if you can. If you cannot, simply imagine warmth there. Let your face soften. Let the breath come in gently. Let the breath leave slowly. Do not rush. Say inside yourself, "This is an old energy, and it can leave me. This is an old story, and I can stop feeding it. This is a new moment, and I can choose love." Again. This is an old energy, and it can leave me. This is an old story, and I can stop feeding it. This is a new moment, and I can choose love. Let the words be simple. Let them be enough. You do not need to feel a huge change. Sometimes the first sign of a shift is only a little less tightness, a little more breath, a little more space between you and the fear. That counts. Do not reject small relief because it is not dramatic. Small relief is a doorway. Small relief is the first fresh air in the room. Small relief is life saying, "Come this way." Your life begins to lift when your energy stops bowing to the old heaviness. It begins to lift when you stop treating every fear as a prophecy. It begins to lift when you stop making the problem your name. It begins to lift when you remember that the room inside you can change even before the outer room looks different. Maybe the outside is still the same today. Maybe the bill is still there. Maybe the message has not come. Maybe the body is still asking for care. Maybe the next step is still unclear. But you are not the same when you meet it with love. You are not the same when you breathe before reacting. You are not the same when you speak a new sentence. You are not the same when you stop watering the fear and begin watering peace. The outside may still be catching up. Let it catch up. Do not keep dragging yourself back into the old energy just because the whole picture has not changed yet. A seed grows underground before the garden shows it. A new morning begins before the whole sky is bright. A life begins to lift inside before everyone else can see it. My dear, trust the quiet beginning. Trust the breath. Trust the small return. Trust the moment when you choose not to repeat the old story. Keep your attention with the new life, not in a forced way, not in a way that denies what must be handled, but in a loving, steady way. Let your attention become a blessing instead of a weapon. Let it search for peace. Let it notice support. Let it look for the next small step. Let it rest on the thought, something new is possible for me. When the old story calls, you do not have to answer every time. When fear knocks, you can open the door with love, but you do not have to invite it to stay for dinner. When shame speaks, you can say, "I hear the pain, but I choose kindness." When lack speaks, you can say, "I see the fear, but I choose trust." When the past speaks, you can say, "Thank you for trying to protect me, but I am not living there today." Today, let your mind become a garden. Let your heart become a room with an open window. Let your breath become the first sign that you are safe enough to soften. Let your words become water for the new life. I am allowed to feel lighter now. My energy is becoming softer. I return my attention to love. Something new is growing in me now. The shift is happening now, even if it is gentle, especially if it is gentle. The deepest changes are not always loud. Sometimes they happen in the moment you choose not to speak badly to yourself. Sometimes they happen when you stop checking for proof of pain. Sometimes they happen when you let the shoulders drop and remember that the body is not your enemy. Sometimes they happen when you stop rehearsing the past as if it is the only future allowed. Do not demand that this moment become everything. Let it be one true beginning. Let it be one window opening. Let it be one cup of water poured on the flowers instead of the weeds. Let it be one new breath in the room of your life. You do not have to carry yesterday's energy into this moment. You do not have to keep feeding the fear. You do not have to wait for life to be perfect before you soften. You do not have to believe every old story the mind repeats. Right now, you can choose one lighter thought. Right now, you can release one piece of heaviness. Right now, you can stop giving your whole life force to what you no longer want to grow. Right now, you can return to love. Breathe softly again. Your life begins to lift when you stop living as though the heaviness is the only truth. Your life begins to lift when your inner room receives fresh air. Your life begins to lift when your attention becomes loving, steady, and awake. Your life begins to lift when you say, I am not here to fight myself anymore. I am here to come home. Shift your energy right now, my dear. Not by force, not by fear, not by pretending. Shift it with one breath, one kind word, one gentle pause, one loving interruption, one choice to stop feeding the old story and begin feeding the life that is trying to grow within you. Calm the body so the energy can rise, my dear. This is one of the kindest things you can learn. Many people try to change their thoughts while the body is still tight with fear. They repeat beautiful words, but the jaw is locked. They say, I am safe, but the shoulders are high. They say, life supports me, but the stomach is holding the whole future like a stone. And then they wonder why the words do not enter deeply. It is not because the words are wrong. It is because the body needs to feel safe enough to receive them. Let the shoulders drop. Let the jaw soften. Let the hands open. Let the breath come back to you. You do not have to force peace into your body. You can invite it. You can speak to the body like a dear friend who has been carrying too much for too long. You can say, Dear body, I know you have been trying to protect me. I know you have been holding fear, pressure, old memories, and quiet pain. I am not here to fight you. I am here to help you soften. The body listens to tone. It listens to breath. It listens to touch. It listens to the way you treat it when you are afraid. If you only speak to your body with criticism, it may tighten more. If you only notice your body when something feels wrong, it may begin to feel like an enemy. But the body is not your enemy. The body has carried you through every day you thought you could not survive. The body has held your grief, your hope, your waiting, your worry, your love, your dreams, and your silent prayers. It deserves kindness. My body is safe to soften. My breath brings me back to peace. I do not have to fight this moment. Sometimes the old energy is not only in the mind, it is in the shoulders, it is in the stomach, it is in the chest, it is in the hands, it is in the way you breathe when you think of the problem. It is in the way your face tightens before you even notice the thought. It is in the jaw holding words you never said. It is in the hands curled as if they have been trying to hold the whole day. This is why your energy cannot rise through pressure. Pressure often pushes the body deeper into fear. The body says, something is wrong. We must stay ready. We must stay tight. But love says, you can soften now. You are allowed to come back to this breath. You are allowed to feel supported in this moment. Fear says, stay tight so nothing goes wrong. Body love says, softness can also protect me. Fear says, if I relax, I will lose control. Body love says, if I soften, I can hear wisdom more clearly. Fear says, hold everything. Body love says, you can put some of it down. This is not about becoming careless. This is not about ignoring life. This is about understanding that a tight body does not always make better choices. A frightened body may rush, chase, overthink, argue, hide, or collapse. A softened body can listen. A softened body can pause. A softened body can choose the next wise step without turning the whole life into a battle. Think of the body like a small boat on water. When fear becomes loud, the water feels rough. The boat rocks. The mind grabs for anything it can control. But the breath can become an anchor. The breath does not remove the whole ocean. It gives you one steady place, one point of return, one reminder that you do not have to be carried away by every wave. Exhale, release, here, safe. For the next 90 seconds, do not solve your whole life. Do not fix the future. Do not answer every fear. Do not search for proof. Do not force a feeling. Just let your body receive a signal of safety. Let the face soften. Let the tongue rest. Let the shoulders fall. Let the belly loosen if it can. Let the hands open as if they no longer need to grip the whole day. Breathe in gently. Breathe out slowly. not because you must do it perfectly, not because there is a correct way to heal, just because your body deserves one moment where it is not being rushed, judged, or frightened. If the mind begins again, let it. The mind may say, "But what about this? What about that? What if it does not work? What if nothing changes?" You do not need to argue with it. You can say, "Thank you for trying to protect me. Right now, I am giving my body 90 seconds of peace." This is a tiny act, but it is powerful. It teaches the body that peace is possible even before everything is solved. It teaches the nervous system that safety can begin in the present moment. It teaches the heart that you are no longer going to abandon it every time fear comes near. My dear, sometimes the body has been waiting for something very simple, not a long lesson, not a perfect plan, not a big promise, just your hand on your heart, just a softer breath, just a moment where you stop treating yourself like a problem. Let the breath find you again. Now listen gently, because this is where energy begins to move faster than the mind expects. The moment you stop shaming the body for being afraid, the energy begins to soften. Many people feel fear and then attack themselves for feeling fear. They say, why am I like this? Why can I not just be calm? Why do I always overthink? Why am I so sensitive? And now there are two pains. There is the fear, and then there is the cruelty added on top of the fear. Let us stop adding the second pain. If your body is afraid, it is not failing you. It is trying to protect you. It may be using old information. It may be reacting to something that feels like the past. It may be preparing for danger, even when this moment is safer than the old one. But it is not wrong. It is asking for support. You can say, I see that I am afraid. I do not need to punish myself for this. You can say, my body is trying to help me. I can guide it with love. You can say, I am safe enough to soften one place now. You can say, fear is here, but love is here too. The body does not need harsh words to heal. The body needs a loving leader, and that loving leader is the part of you that can notice the fear without becoming the fear. The part that can breathe, the part that can choose kindness, the part that can say, we are not fighting ourselves today. The shift may be small. Maybe your shoulders drop a little. Maybe the jaw opens a little. Maybe the breath becomes slower. Maybe the chest feels 1 inch wider. Let that count. Do not reject small peace because it is not complete peace. Small peace is still peace. Small softness is still softness. Small relief is still the beginning of a new energy. The body believes what it experiences again and again. If it experiences rush every morning, it begins to expect rush. If it experiences criticism every time you look in the mirror, it begins to expect attack. If it experiences panic every time money is mentioned, it begins to expect danger. If it experiences fear every time love feels uncertain, it begins to expect pain. But this can change. The body can learn new safety through repetition, not by one perfect moment, not by one deep breath that must heal everything, but by small returns. Again and again, you teach the body we can soften, we can breathe, we can choose. We can meet life without turning against ourselves. You may need to place your hand on your heart many times. You may need to repeat, "I am safe in this breath," many times. You may need to relax your shoulders 100 times because they keep rising again. That is all right. You are not doing it wrong. You are training a new rhythm. A child does not learn safety because you say one kind sentence one time. A child learns safety because kindness keeps returning. The body is the same. It learns through return. It learns through warmth. It learns through a steady message that says, "I am here. I will not leave you. I will not attack you. I will help you feel safe enough to live." My body is learning peace. My body is learning softness. My body is learning that love can lead now. When the body stops bracing, energy begins to rise naturally. It is like a boat that has been fighting the water. When the anchor is found, the boat does not need to fight every wave. It can rest. It can move with more grace. It can feel the support under it. Your body may have been bracing for bad news, bracing for rejection, bracing for failure, bracing for disappointment, bracing for another hard conversation, bracing for tomorrow before tomorrow has arrived. And bracing takes energy. It takes the energy that could be used for creativity, love, peace, prayer, healing, and clear action. When you soften even a little, you begin to take your life force back from constant protection. This does not mean you become open to harm. This does not mean you stop having boundaries. Softness does not mean weakness. A relaxed body can still say no. A calm voice can still speak truth. An open heart can still choose wisely. In fact, when you are not locked in fear, you often hear your own truth more clearly. So today, when you notice your body bracing, do not make it wrong. Just say, "Ah, I am holding again." Then soften one place. Just one. Let one shoulder drop. Let one hand open. Let one breath go deeper. Let one old fear loosen its grip. Exhale. Release. Again. When the body feels safe, the soul has room to rise. Move from fear into love, my dear. Not all at once. Not by force, not by pretending you never feel afraid. Move gently, one thought at a time, one breath at a time, one response at a time. Fear may be loud, but love is deeper. Fear may speak quickly, but love speaks with a steady voice. Fear may point at every danger, but love reminds you that this moment is not the whole story. Every moment gives you a choice, even if it is a small choice. You may not choose everything that happens, but you can choose the place inside you from which you respond. You can answer from fear, or you can answer from love. You can speak from panic, or you can speak from peace. You can move from the old wound, or you can move from the wiser heart that is learning to care for you now. Love says you are safe enough to breathe. Love says you can choose again. Love says this moment is not your whole life. Love says you do not have to fight yourself to become free. Fear is not bad. Fear is not something to hate. Fear is a messenger. It is a frightened part of you saying, "Please keep me safe." But fear should not be the ruler of your life. Fear can visit, but it does not need to drive. Fear can speak, but it does not need to make every decision. Fear can show you where tenderness is needed, and then love can lead you through. I choose love in this moment. I choose peace where I once chose panic. I am safe to meet life differently. Fear closes the body. Love opens it. Fear says, protect yourself from life. Love says, let life support you in safe and honest ways. Fear says, do not trust anything. Love says, trust yourself to listen. Fear says, this has happened before, so it will happen again. Love says, the past can teach me, but it does not have to own me. Think of fear and love as two doorways. The doorway of fear often leads back to the same old room, the room of overthinking, the room of self-attack, the room of chasing, the room of hiding, the room of expecting disappointment before life has even spoken. The doorway of love leads somewhere different. It may still feel new. It may even feel unfamiliar. But it leads toward peace, self-respect, patience, and trust. Before we continue, there is something very gentle I want you to understand about fear. Fear often believes it is helping you. It thinks if it worries enough, it can stop pain. It thinks if it controls enough, it can stop loss. It thinks if it expects the worst, it will not be surprised. But fear cannot give you true peace. Fear can only keep you alert. And being alert all the time is exhausting. Love does not say, nothing bad will ever happen. Love says, whatever happens, I will not abandon myself. Love says, I will listen. I will choose wisely. I will set boundaries. I will care for the body. I will speak truth. I will rest. I will begin again. Love is not weak. Love is strong enough to stay present without turning life into an enemy. Love, again, stay, open. When fear becomes loud, ask one simple question. What would love say to me right now? Not what would shame say, not what would panic say, not what would the old wound say. What would love say? If you are afraid about money, love might say, let us look calmly. let us take one wise step. Let us not call ourselves doomed. If you are afraid about love, love might say, you do not have to chase to be worthy. Stay with yourself. If you are afraid about the body, love might say, listen gently, support the body, do not attack it. If you are afraid about the future, love might say, you do not need the whole path today. Take the next kind step. If you're afraid you're behind, love might say, your timing is still unfolding. You are not forgotten. Place your hand over your heart. Feel the soft warmth of your palm there. Let the quiet space after a slow breath open. Ask your heart, what would love say to me right now? Then listen without forcing. The answer may be very simple. It may be rest. It may be stop checking. It may be tell the truth. It may be drink water. It may be you are safe enough in this moment. It may be do not speak to yourself that way. Love often speaks simply. Fear makes long speeches. Love says one true thing. For 2 minutes today, choose love over fear. Only 2 minutes. Do not make it a heavy task. Do not say, I must never feel fear again. Just give yourself 2 minutes where love gets to lead. For 2 minutes, do not repeat the old story. For 2 minutes, do not attack your body. For 2 minutes, do not chase the answer. For 2 minutes, do not make the delay mean you are forgotten. For 2 minutes, let love speak first. You may see quietly and breathe. You may write one kind sentence. You may clean one small space with care. You may drink water as an act of love. You may look in the mirror and say, I am here with you. You may place your hand on your heart and whisper, I choose love now. This may seem too simple, but simple practices are often the ones the body can receive. The mind may want a big solution, but the heart may only need a steady return. 2 minutes of love can interrupt hours of fear. 2 minutes of peace can show the body another way. 2 minutes of not abandoning yourself can begin to rebuild trust within you. Fear says, what if nothing changes? Love says, what if this is where change begins? Fear says, you are alone. Love says, I am here with you. Fear says, you must fix this now. Love says, take the next honest step. My dear, the energy of love is not always a big feeling. Sometimes love feels like calm action. Sometimes love feels like not sending the message. Sometimes love feels like making the appointment. Sometimes love feels like taking a rest. Sometimes love feels like saying no. Sometimes love feels like saying yes to help. Sometimes love feels like forgiving yourself for not knowing sooner. The next part may help you stop fighting yourself when heavy feelings come back. Fear may return after you choose love. That does not mean the choice failed. It means an old pattern is asking for more care. Do not turn the return of fear into proof that nothing is changing. Sometimes fear comes back because it is used to being in charge. It wants to know if love is truly going to stay. So when fear returns, Do not say, I failed. Say, I have another chance to choose love. When the old thought comes back, do not say, I am not healing. Say, this is a place in me that still needs tenderness. When the body tightens again, do not say, nothing is working. Say, my body is learning. Healing is not a straight line. Energy does not always rise and stay high forever. Some days you feel light, then a memory comes. Some mornings feel peaceful, then one message shakes you. Some nights feel calm, then the mind begins to worry again. This is human. This is not failure. The practice is return. Return to love. Return to breath. Return to the heart. Return to the soft truth. You are becoming a person who does not abandon yourself when fear appears. That is powerful. That is deep healing. That is the beginning of a new energy. Love does not rush the process. Fear rushes. Fear says, why are you not healed yet? Why are you still thinking this? Why is your life not different already? Love says, we are learning. We are growing. We are allowed to take this one breath. Fear compares. Love returns. Fear demands. Love invites. Fear shames. Love teaches. Fear wants proof before it softens. Love softens and lets proof arrive in time. My dear, if you have lived many years in fear, give yourself kindness as you learn love. Do not expect the body to trust peace in one day. Do not expect the mind to release every old thought in one morning. Do not expect the heart to open fully before it feels safe. You are not late. You are learning a new way to live inside yourself. Love is patient with the places that fear made tight. Love sits beside the frightened part and says, I understand why you are scared. I will not shame you, but I will not let fear run the whole life anymore. Love brings courage without cruelty. Love brings truth without attack. Love brings change without self-hate. This is the kind of energy that lifts a life. Not harsh pressure, not fake joy, not spiritual performance. Love, steady love, practical love, gentle love. Love that can pay the bill, make the call, speak the truth, rest the body, open the hand, and bless the future. Fear repeats the past. It says, this is what happened before, so this is what will happen again. Love opens a new response. It says, I honor what I learned, but I do not have to live every day inside the old pain. Maybe the past taught you to expect rejection. Love teaches you to stop rejecting yourself. Maybe the past taught you to worry about money. Love teaches you to take wise steps without panic. Maybe the past taught you to hide your feelings. Love teaches you to listen to them safely. Maybe the past taught you to chase love. Love teaches you to stay rooted in your own worth. This is not easy every time, but it is possible. And every time you choose a new response, the old energy loses a little power. It may not disappear all at once, but it weakens. It becomes less convincing. It becomes less automatic. You begin to notice, I do not have to be that old version of myself in this moment. That is a sacred moment. The moment between fear and response. The moment where you breathe. The moment where you ask, what would love do now? The moment where you choose differently. That moment is where life begins to lift. Clean the inner room, my dear. Clean the thoughts, the words, and the attention you keep living inside. This does not mean you must think perfect thoughts all day. It means you begin to notice what kind of words you are letting fill the room of your mind. Some words bring fresh air. Some words close the windows. Some words help the heart rise. Some words keep the body heavy. Your words are not small. The words you repeat become the air your mind breathes. If you keep saying, nothing ever works, your mind begins to look for proof. If you keep saying, I am stuck, your body may stop looking for steps. If you keep saying, life is against me, your heart may close to support. If you keep saying, I am not enough, the inner child may feel rejected again and again. But you can begin to speak differently, not with force, not with pressure, not by lying to yourself, with love. You can say, something new is forming. You can say, life can support me in ways I do not see yet. You can say, I am learning a lighter way. You can say, I am safe to receive good. You can say, this moment is not my whole life. I choose words that heal me. I speak to myself with love. My inner world is becoming kind. Think of the mind like a blackboard. For many years, old sentences may have been written there. I am not worthy. I always struggle. People leave. Money is hard. My body is wrong. I cannot change. These sentences may have been written by old experiences, old voices, old pain, or old fear. But my dear, the blackboard is not stone. It can be cleaned, slowly, gently, one line at a time. You do not need to erase everything today. You only need to notice one sentence that hurts you and begin writing a kinder one beside it. Old sentence, I always fail. New sentence, I am learning with every step. Old sentence, I am too much. New sentence, my feelings are allowed to be heard. Old sentence, nothing changes. New sentence, small changes are beginning now. Old sentence, I am alone. New sentence, support can reach me in gentle ways. The old mind says, say the old sentence. It feels true. The soul says, say the healing sentence. It is becoming true. The old mind says, do not hope. The soul says, hope can be gentle. The old mind says, protect yourself by expecting pain. The soul says, protect yourself by returning to love. Speak softly. Rewrite. Now, I no longer speak fear over my future. I no longer speak shame over my body. I no longer speak lack over my life. I no longer speak rejection over my heart. I no longer speak defeat over a day that has not even arrived. This is a deep practice because many people do not notice how often they bless the thing they do not want. They say, I know this will go wrong. They say, people like me never get ahead. They say, good things do not happen to me. They say, I am always tired. They say, I can never heal. And because these words feel familiar, they may not sound powerful, but they are powerful. They are instructions repeated into the inner world. My dear, be gentle with your words. They are seeds. They are not the only thing that creates your life, but they do shape the inner atmosphere. And the inner atmosphere shapes what you notice, what you expect, what you allow, and how you act. This does not mean you never speak honestly about pain. Honesty is healing. But there is a difference between saying, I feel afraid today, and saying, my life will always be fear. There is a difference between saying, money feels tight right now, and saying, there is never enough for me. There is a difference between saying, my body needs care, and saying, my body is against me. Speak honestly, but do not curse your future. Speak truthfully, but leave room for grace. Speak about what is here, but do not close the door on what can still come. When heavy energy returns, give yourself 3 simple lines. Do not make it hard. Do not search for perfect words. Let the words be easy enough for the body to receive. This is old energy leaving me. I return to love now. My life is beginning to lift. Say them slowly. Say them on a soft exhale so the body hears them. Let the words move through the quiet sound of your own voice in the room. Let the breath carry the meaning deeper than the mind. This is old energy leaving me. Not, this is who I am forever. Not, I am broken. Not, nothing is working. Old energy. Leaving, I return to love now. Not tomorrow. Not when everything is easy. Not when I am perfect. Now. My life is beginning to lift, not because I force it, not because I deny what hurts, because I am choosing a new inner atmosphere. You may need to say these lines many times. Let that be all right. The old words were repeated many times too. The new words deserve repetition. They deserve space. They deserve your voice. They deserve to become familiar. The voice you use inside becomes the home you live in. If the voice is harsh, the soul feels unsafe. If the voice is always worried, the body stays alert. If the voice is full of shame, the heart hides. But when the voice becomes kind, the inner home begins to change. The rooms become warmer, the windows open, the frightened parts feel less alone. Ask yourself gently, what is the voice inside me saying today? Is it helping me rise, or is it holding me down? Is it speaking with love, or is it repeating old pain? Is it guiding me, or is it frightening me? Is it telling the truth with kindness, or is it using truth as a weapon? You do not need to judge the answer. Just notice. If the voice is harsh, soften it. If the voice is afraid, comfort it. If the voice is hopeless, give it one small possibility. If the voice is tired, give it rest. If the voice is ashamed, give it forgiveness. You can become the voice that saves you from the old voice. You can become the one who says, I am here. You can become the one who says, let us try again. You can become the one who says, you are not bad for feeling this. You can become the one who says, life is still open. This is how the inner room becomes safe again. Not because every old sentence disappears in one day, but because a new loving voice keeps returning. If this is helping your heart, you may write one simple line below. My energy is lifting now. Not for anyone else. Let it be a quiet promise to yourself. And even if you do not write it anywhere, let the sentence write itself inside your mind. My energy is lifting now. Let it be gentle. Let it be simple. Let it be true enough to begin. You do not have to feel completely light to say it. You only have to be willing to let one part of you rise. One breath, one thought, one small space inside the chest. One kind word replacing one cruel word. One old sentence erased from the blackboard and one healing sentence written in its place. This is how change becomes real. Not by waiting for a perfect mood, not by waiting until the whole outer world agrees with you, but by choosing what you will keep speaking inside yourself. Now we come to a very powerful point. Your life begins to follow the words you keep making familiar. If fear is familiar, fear feels like home. If shame is familiar, shame feels like truth. If lack is familiar, lack feels normal. But if love becomes familiar, love begins to feel safe. If peace becomes familiar, peace begins to feel possible. If support becomes familiar, support becomes easier to receive. So make healing words familiar. Make kindness familiar. Make hope familiar. Make trust familiar. Sometimes one sentence can change the feeling of a whole moment. The situation may not change right away, but your relationship with it changes. And when your relationship with the moment changes, your energy changes too. Instead of saying, I cannot handle this, say, I can take one step. Instead of saying, I am behind, say, I am moving in my own timing. Instead of saying, I always ruin things, say, I am learning to choose with love. Instead of saying, no one helps me, say, I am open to support in safe ways. Instead of saying my life is heavy, say my energy is learning to lift. Feel the difference in the body. The old sentence closes, the new sentence opens. The old sentence makes the breath smaller. The new sentence gives the breath a little room. The old sentence feels like a wall. The new sentence feels like a window. You do not have to believe the new sentence fully at first. Let it come near. Let it sit beside you. Let it be a possibility. Sometimes the heart cannot jump straight into belief, but it can open to willingness. I am willing to feel lighter. I am willing to speak kindly. I am willing to stop repeating the old story. I am willing to let life support me. I am willing to believe that something new can begin. Willingness is enough to open the door. Speak to yourself like someone you love. Speak to yourself like someone who has been through enough. Speak to yourself like someone who is learning, not someone who must be punished. Speak to yourself like someone whose heart matters. Speak to yourself like someone whose body has served them faithfully. Speak to yourself like someone who deserves a new beginning. If you made a mistake, speak with correction, not cruelty. If you feel afraid, speak with comfort, not shame. If you are tired, speak with care, not pressure. If you feel behind, speak with patience, not attack. If your life is changing slowly, speak with faith, not despair. The words do not need to be grand. They can be very simple. I am here with you. We can try again. This is hard, but I am not alone inside it. I choose one loving step. Life can still surprise me. These words are like fresh air in the inner room. They do not deny what is hard. They simply make the room enough for healing to enter. My dear, the old voice may still speak sometimes. Let it. You do not have to fear it. You can answer it now. You can say, I know you. You are the old fear. You are the old pain. You are the old way. But I am not giving you the whole room anymore. Love lives here too. Your words can lift your energy right now. Not because words are magic tricks, not because one sentence makes every problem disappear, but because words guide attention, words guide feeling, words guide the body, words guide the next choice. A loving word can interrupt panic. A kind word can soften shame. A steady word can calm the body. A hopeful word can open the mind. A truthful word can bring you back to yourself. So choose words that help you rise. Choose words that leave room for support. Choose words that bring the body back to safety. Choose words that do not trap you inside the old picture. Choose words that make love feel possible. This is old energy leaving me. I return to love now. My life is beginning to lift. Let that be enough for this moment. Let the blackboard of the mind begin to change. Let the old chalk marks fade little by little. Let the new words appear with softness and patience. I choose words that heal me. I speak to myself with love. My inner world is becoming kind. When your words become lighter, the inner room begins to feel safe again. Let gratitude lift the field, my dear. Not because everything is perfect, not because you are pretending there is nothing to heal, nothing to handle, nothing to understand, and nothing to change. Gratitude is not denial. Gratitude is not a mask. Gratitude is not a way of telling your pain to be quiet. True gratitude is much softer than that. It is the gentle choice to notice that even in a hard season, life is still offering small pieces of support. Maybe you have been looking so closely at what is missing that you have not seen what is still holding you. Maybe the mind has been counting what has not arrived, what has not opened, what has not been answered, what has not changed. And yes, those things may matter. Your longing matters. Your questions matter. Your hopes matter. But when the mind only looks at what is not here, the whole inner world begins to feel empty. Gratitude turns your face toward what is here. The breath is here. The body is here. This moment is here. One small piece of good is here. And when you begin to notice even one small good thing, the energy inside you begins to loosen. The heart does not feel as locked. The body does not feel as alone. The mind begins to remember that life is not only the problem. Life is also the quiet support that has been near you all along. I notice the good that is already here. I bless the small signs of support. More good is welcome in my life. The next part matters because gratitude is not about pretending. It is about changing the place you look from. If your heart is hurting, gratitude does not say, "Do not feel that." If your life feels uncertain, gratitude does not say, "Ignore it." If your body is tired, gratitude does not say, "Act like everything is fine." Gratitude simply says, "Let me also notice what is still kind." There may be pain, and there may also be breath. There may be questions, and there may also be one safe moment. There may be delay, and there may also be preparation. There may be loneliness, and there may also be your own hand over your heart. There may be fear, and there may also be love learning to return. This is how gratitude lifts the field. It does not erase life. It opens life. It does not tell you to deny the dark. It lets the first light come in. A room can be dim, and still one soft ray of light can change the feeling of it. A morning can begin cloudy, and still the sun can rise behind the clouds. A heart can feel heavy, and still one thankful breath can begin to soften it. Thank you for this breath. Thank you for this moment. Thank you for the support I can see. Thank you for the support I cannot see yet. Let these words be simple. Do not force them. Do not say them like a task. Say them like you are opening the curtain just a little. Say them like you are letting the first light touch the floor of your inner room. Thank you. Receive. Enough. Light. Give yourself 5 soft thank yous today. Not loud ones, not perfect ones, not the kind that must sound grand or spiritual. 5 simple thank yous that your body can believe. Thank you for this breath. Thank you for the chair holding me. Thank you for the blanket over my knees. Thank you for the warmth of the cup I forgot to drink. Thank you for the small light touching the wall. Maybe your thank you is for water. Maybe it is for one message from someone kind. Maybe it is for a quiet room. Maybe it is for the food that gave your body strength. Maybe it is for the chance to begin again. Maybe it is for the fact that you have survived days you once thought would break you. Maybe it is for one moment of peace in the middle of a long day. Let the breath become slower as you name what is still good. Feel how the body responds when you are not only searching for danger. The shoulders may soften, the face may relax, the chest may open just a little. The mind may say, "Oh, there is still something here. There is still support. There is still life." Lack says, "This is not enough." Gratitude says, "This is a beginning." Lack says, "Look at what is missing." Gratitude says, "Look at what is still holding you." Lack says, "You have nothing." Gratitude says, "Start with one breath." My dear, gratitude does not ask you to be thankful for pain. It asks you to remember that pain is not the only thing present. It asks you to stop giving the whole room to what hurts. It asks you to let one small light enter. Many people miss the small good because they are waiting for the big good. They are waiting for the large answer, the clear sign, the perfect love, the sudden money, the complete healing, the full door opening. And because the big thing has not arrived yet, they think nothing good is happening. But life often begins lifting through small things first. A little calm, a little rest, a kind thought, a useful idea, a soft breath, a gentle pause. One moment when you did not react the old way. One morning when the heaviness did not feel as strong. One choice to speak to yourself with love. Small good still counts. Do not reject it because it is not dramatic. Do not push away a small blessing because it is not the whole miracle. A seed is small, but a garden can come from it. The first light is soft, but it still changes the room. One breath is simple, but it can bring you back from panic. When you notice small good, your energy begins to rise because your mind is no longer trapped in only one story. The story is not, "Nothing is working." The story becomes, "Something is supporting me." The story is not, "Life has forgotten me." The story becomes, "Life is still giving me signs of care." The story is not, "I am alone." The story becomes, "I can be here with myself, and support can come in many forms." I bless the small good. I let it count. I let it open my heart to more. Gratitude changes what you notice. When you are in fear, the mind scans for danger. It looks for what could go wrong. It looks for proof of lack. It looks for signs of rejection. It looks for the next thing to worry about. This is not because you are bad. It is because fear has trained the mind to look for threat. Gratitude gently retrains the mind. It says, look for support too. It says, look for kindness too. It says, look for the small door too. It says, look for the breath, the light, the hand, the message, the idea, the moment of peace. And when the mind begins to notice support, the body begins to feel less alone. When the body feels less alone, it does not have to brace so much. When the body stops bracing, your energy has room to rise. This is why gratitude is not only a nice idea, it is a real shift in the inner world. You may still have responsibilities. You may still have things to handle. You may still have unanswered questions. But now you are not meeting them from a place of emptiness. You are meeting them from a place that remembers, there is good here too. This matters. Because the energy of nothing is here for me feels very different from the energy of support is already beginning. The energy of I have no help feels very different from help can reach me in simple ways. The energy of I must carry everything alone feels very different from life can meet me through small blessings. Thank you for the seen blessings. Thank you for the hidden blessings. Thank you for the answers forming quietly. Thank you for the light returning. My dear, gratitude does not cancel desire. Some people are afraid that if they are grateful for what they have, life will think they do not want more. But life is not confused by your gratitude. Gratitude does not say, I do not want growth. Gratitude says, I honor what is here while I open to more. You can be grateful for the room you live in and still desire a better home. You can be grateful for the money you have and still welcome more abundance. You can be grateful for your body and still support deeper healing. You can be grateful for the love in your life and still desire more connection. You can be grateful for today and still dream of tomorrow. Gratitude is not the end of desire. Gratitude is clean soil for desire. It makes the heart less desperate. It makes the body less tight. It helps you want from love instead of panic. It helps you say, more good is welcome, without saying, this moment is worthless until more arrives. This is a beautiful energy. It is open. It is soft. It is trusting. It does not chase. It does not collapse. It receives what is here and welcomes what is coming. I am grateful for what is here. I am open to what is coming. My heart can bless this moment and still welcome more. When gratitude and desire live together, your energy becomes lighter. You are no longer waiting for life to become perfect before you feel blessed. You are no longer using lack as the place from which you ask. You are standing in the present moment with open hands, saying, thank you, and yes, I am ready for more good. Let gratitude be ordinary. Let it belong to the day you are already living. You do not need a special place, a perfect mood, or a long ritual. You can be grateful while washing a cup. You can be grateful while opening a window. You can be grateful while feeling the floor under your feet. You can be grateful while making food, folding clothes, sitting in silence, walking outside, or resting your tired body. If you are in the kitchen, bless the water. If you are in bed, bless the blanket. If you are outside, bless the air. If you are working, bless the strength that helps you continue. If you are healing, bless the part of you that still believes life can be softer. If you are crying, bless the heart that is brave enough to feel. Gratitude does not have to be loud. Sometimes it is a whisper. Thank you. Sometimes it is a breath. Sometimes it is noticing the warmth of the cup in your hands. Sometimes it is seeing the small light on the wall and letting it remind you that light still knows how to find you. These ordinary moments lift the field because they bring you back to life as it is happening. Not only life as you fear it, not only life as you want it, life here, life now, life breathing with you. I notice this moment. I bless what is here. I allow the good to touch me. Become available to receiving, my dear. This is a very tender part of shifting your energy. Many people ask for good, pray for good, hope for good, and dream of good, but inside, the body is not sure it is safe to receive good. The hands are closed. The heart is guarded. The mind is expecting disappointment. The nervous system is waiting for something to go wrong. So the good may come near, but the old energy says, "Can I trust this?" The blessing may knock, but the old fear says, "What if I lose it?" The love may appear, but the old wound says, "What if it hurts?" The support may be offered, but the old pride says, "I should do it alone." The opportunity may open, but the old doubt says, "I am not ready." Receiving is not only about getting something. Receiving is an inner posture. It is the feeling of being safe enough to let good come near. It is the softening of the hands. It is the opening of the heart. It is the quiet yes inside the body that says, "I do not have to block every blessing before it reaches me. I am safe to receive good." I open my hands and soften my heart. Life may bless me in ways I have not planned. Think of your energy like a cup. Life may be ready to pour, but if the cup is turned upside down by fear, nothing can enter. Not because life is unkind, not because you are unworthy, but because fear has made the body close. Fear says, "Do not receive, it may not last." Fear says, "Do not trust, you may be hurt." Fear says, "Do not open, you may be disappointed." But love gently turns the cup upward. Love says, "Let one blessing in." Love says, "Let one kind word reach you." Love says, "Let one person help." Love says, "Let one good thing count." Love says, "Let life surprise you." I am open to help. I am open to peace. I am open to love that feels safe. I am open to good. I do not have to chase. Open your hands gently if you can. Let the palms rest upward or simply loosen. Feel the difference between gripping and opening. Feel the small breath that comes when you stop bracing. Your hands do not need to hold the whole future. Your heart does not need to guard against every possible pain. You can be wise and open. You can have boundaries and still receive. You can move slowly and still say yes to good. Open. Yes. Allow. Receive. Receiving may feel strange at first, especially if you are used to struggling. If life has taught you that good must be earned through pain, then ease may feel suspicious. If people only gave with conditions, kindness may feel unsafe. If you had to be strong all the time, support may feel uncomfortable. If you learn to give more than you received, being cared for may bring tears. Let that be all right. The tears do not mean something is wrong. They may mean a closed place is opening. The discomfort does not mean the blessing is bad. It may mean the body is learning a new feeling. The fear does not mean you should run. It may mean you need to receive slowly, gently, with self-respect. Control says, I must make everything happen alone. Blessing says, I can receive support in peaceful ways. Control says, if I do not hold everything, it will fall apart. Blessing says, life can hold some of this with me. Control says, do not need anyone. Blessing says, receiving is not weakness. My dear, receiving does not make you helpless. It makes you human. You were not created to be only a giver, only a worker, only a fixer, only a strong one, only the person who holds everything together. You are also allowed to be held by life. You are allowed to be supported. You are allowed to let kindness come toward you without immediately asking what it will cost. Today, practice one small yes. Not a huge yes, not a life-changing yes, just one small yes to receiving. Say yes to rest if your body is tired. Say yes to water if your body is asking. Say yes to help if someone offers with love. Say yes to a kind thought instead of the old attack. Say yes to the idea that good can reach you in a simple way. Say yes to the possibility that life is not against you. One small yes can begin to change the energy of the whole day. It tells the body, we are not only pushing now, we are receiving too. It tells the mind, we do not have to earn every breath. It tells the heart, good is allowed to come near. Stay with this, because sometimes the life you want is trying to enter through a door you keep closing. It may enter as help, but you keep saying, I am fine. It may enter as rest, but you keep saying, I do not have time. It may enter as love, but you keep saying, I cannot trust anyone. It may enter as an idea, but you keep saying, I am not ready. It may enter as a new path, but you keep looking only at the closed door behind you. What if one small yes opens more than you think? What if receiving begins with letting today be a little easier? What if the energy shift you're asking for is not only about letting go of heaviness, but also about allowing goodness? This is where many blessings begin, not in chasing, but in allowing. Chasing carries a tight energy. It says, I must force this to happen or I will not be safe. Allowing carries a softer energy. It says, I will take the next loving step and I will let life meet me too. You can desire without chasing. You can love without losing yourself. You can work without panic. You can pray without begging. You can prepare without trying to control every detail. You can open without abandoning your wisdom. The old energy may say, if I do not push, nothing will happen. But my dear, life is not only moved by pressure. Life is also moved by alignment, timing, openness, love, and calm action. Sometimes the blessing comes when you stop gripping it so tightly. Sometimes the answer appears when the body is finally quiet enough to hear it. Sometimes the door opens after you stop knocking on the wrong one with bleeding hands. Receiving is not passive. It is not doing nothing. It is doing your part without trying to do life's part from fear. Your part is to speak kindly. Your part is to take the next step. Your part is to open the hand. Your part is to stop blocking every good thing with the thought, this cannot be for me. Life's part is timing, connection, surprise, support, and the path you cannot see yet. I do my part with love. I let life do its part in peace. I am open to good that comes without struggle. You are worthy of receiving, not after you become perfect, not after you fix every part of your life, not after everyone approves of you, not after you prove that you have suffered enough. You are worthy now because you are life. You are a living soul. You are included in the goodness of life. This can be hard for the old mind to accept. The old mind may say, but I made mistakes. Love says, you are learning. The old mind may say, but other people deserve it more. Love says, good is not limited. The old mind may say, but I have been heavy for so long. Love says, you can open now. The old mind may say, but what if I receive and lose it? Love says, let today's good be today's good. You do not have to reject a blessing in order to protect yourself from future pain. You do not have to refuse joy because it may change. You do not have to push away love because once love hurt. You do not have to block abundance because money once felt unsafe. You can receive slowly. You can receive wisely. You can receive with boundaries. You can receive with prayer. You can receive with both open hands and open eyes. I am worthy of peaceful good. I am worthy of safe love. I am worthy of support that does not harm me. I am worthy of a life that lifts gently. Let those words come near. You do not have to force belief. Let them sit beside the part of you that doubts. Let the doubting part hear them again and again. Life may bless you in ways you have not planned. This is important. Sometimes people block receiving because they are waiting for good to come in only one form. One person, one door, one answer, one exact timeline, one perfect sign. And while they stare at that one place, life may be trying to send support through another way. Support may come as an idea. Support may come as rest. Support may come as a delay that protects you. Support may come as a person who speaks one helpful sentence. Support may come as courage to stop choosing the old pattern. Support may come as peace, even before the outer answer arrives. Let life have more than one path to you. Let the blessing be simple if it comes simply. Let the answer be quiet if it comes quietly. Let the good be different from what fear demanded. This is part of energy lifting. The tight mind says, it must happen this way. The open heart says, life may have ways I cannot see. The tight mind says, only this person can make me feel loved. The open heart says, love can reach me through many doors. The tight mind says, only this outcome can save me. The open heart says, my good is not trapped in one form. When you become safe to receive, life has more ways to reach you. Live as the lifted version today, my dear. Do not wait for the whole life to change before you begin acting like someone who is worthy of peace. Do not wait for every fear to leave before you take one calm step. Do not wait for every answer to arrive before you speak kindly to yourself. Do not wait for the world to prove you are safe before you stop abandoning yourself. The lifted version of you is not a perfect person. The lifted version of you still has human moments, still feels, still learns, still has days that are not easy. But the lifted version of you responds differently. The lifted version of you does not give the whole day to fear. The lifted version of you does not call one problem the whole life. The lifted version of you does not speak cruelty over the body. The lifted version of you does not chase what drains the heart. The lifted version of you pauses, breathes, listens, and chooses one step from love. The lifted version of me breathes before reacting. The lifted version of me speaks with love. The lifted version of me chooses one peaceful step. The lifted version of me does not return to old fear so quickly. This is where the inner shift becomes a life shift. Energy is not only something you feel, it becomes something you live. It becomes how you answer the message, how you begin the morning, how you talk to the body, how you handle money, how you rest, how you choose, how you bless the unknown. I live as the new me today. I take one step from love. My life rises as I rise within. The next part is simple, but it is where the energy shift becomes a life shift. Choose one lifted response today, only one. One moment where you do not obey the old energy. One moment where you answer from the version of you who is healing. Maybe the old you would check the phone 10 times. The lifted you puts it down and returns to the heart. Maybe the old you would criticize the body. The lifted you says, "Dear body, I am listening." Maybe the old you would repeat the money fear. The lifted you says, "I can take one wise step." Maybe the old you would say yes when the whole body means no. The lifted you pauses and speaks honestly. Maybe the old you would stay in bed with shame. The lifted you sits up, drinks water, opens the curtain, and begins gently. Maybe the old you would tell the old story again. The lifted you says, "I am not feeding that today. Step, begin." Rise. Now. You do not have to become the whole lifted version in one day. You only need to give that version one place to live. One choice, one breath, one sentence, one action, one moment when your energy says, "We are not going back in the same way." For 15 minutes today, live from the new energy. 15 minutes without telling the old story. 15 minutes without checking for proof of pain. 15 minutes without speaking badly to yourself. 15 minutes where you ask, "What would the lifted version of me do now?" This is not too much. It is small enough to begin and strong enough to matter. For 15 minutes, you may clean one small space with love. For 15 minutes, you may write down what you are ready to release. For 15 minutes, you may walk slowly and let the body feel supported. For 15 minutes, you may handle one practical task without panic. For 15 minutes, you may rest and let rest be holy. For 15 minutes, you may speak to yourself as if you are someone precious. The old self says, "Wait until everything changes." The lifted self says, "I begin now." The old self says, "This is too small." The lifted self says, "Small choices become my new life." The old self says, "You will fall back." The lifted self says, "Then I will return again." My dear, do not underestimate 15 minutes. A new life is not built only by big decisions. It is built by small moments where you stop being loyal to the old pain. It is built when the body learns, "We can do something different." It is built when the mind learns, "We do not have to repeat the same sentence." It is built when the heart learns, "I am no longer alone inside myself." The lifted version of you has different habits, not because you are trying to impress anyone, but because your energy needs a new path. Old habits feed old energy. New habits give new energy somewhere to grow. The lifted version of you may begin the morning without giving the phone the first piece of your mind. The lifted version may take one breath before answering a difficult message. The lifted version may bless the body instead of attacking it. The lifted version may stop explaining everything to people who are committed to misunderstanding. The lifted version may choose rest before collapse. The lifted version may use simple words like, I am learning, I am safe, I can choose again. Stand or sit a little taller now, not with pride, but with quiet self-respect. Feel your feet touching the ground like they belong here. Let the spine rise gently, as if hope has entered the body. Not stiff, not forced, just a little more present, a little more here, a little more willing to be the person your soul is calling you to become. The lifted version is not far away. The lifted version begins as a choice in this moment. How would that version breathe? How would that version speak? How would that version treat the body today? How would that version look at the future? How would that version handle this one small thing? Ask gently, then answer with one action. You do not need everyone to see your shift for it to be real. Some of your deepest changes may be invisible at first. No one may know that you did not send the message. No one may know that you breathed through panic. No one may know that you chose a kind word instead of an old attack. No one may know that you rested instead of punishing yourself. No one may know that you stopped repeating the story. But life knows. Your body knows. Your subconscious knows. Your soul knows. These quiet choices matter. They create a new relationship with yourself. They teach you self-trust. They show you that you are not trapped in the old reaction. They help you believe, little by little, I can live differently. Do not wait for applause. Do not wait for someone else to say you are changing. Notice it yourself. Honor it yourself. Bless it yourself. The inner child needs you to see the effort. The body needs you to notice the progress. The heart needs you to say, I see you trying. I see you choosing. I see you rising. I see my small steps. I honor my quiet growth. I am proud of every loving return. The lifted life is a bridge, not a jump. You do not leap from fear to perfect peace. You cross slowly, one step at a time. One thought, one breath, one choice, one boundary, one rest, one honest moment. One day where you do not feed the old story as much as before. Some days you may step forward. Some days you may pause. Some days you may feel like you stepped back. That is all right. A bridge is crossed by returning to the next step, not by hating yourself for where you are. You are not late. You are learning. You are not weak. You are becoming steady. You are not broken. You are rebuilding the way you live inside yourself. The old energy may call from behind you. It may say, come back. This is familiar. But you can keep walking softly, slowly, with love. You can say, I know that old place. I lived there long enough. I am choosing a new path now. And every new step teaches the body that the new path is safe. Every new step teaches the mind that change is possible. Every new step teaches the heart that life can feel lighter. The lifted life begins with one lifted response. Your life begins to lift from within, my dear, not because you forced it, not because you became perfect, not because every outer situation changed in one moment. It begins to lift because you stopped giving all your energy to fear. It begins to lift because you softened the body. It begins to lift because you chose love again. It begins to lift because you cleaned the inner room. It begins to lift because gratitude opened the first light. It begins to lift because you became available to receive. It begins to lift because you lived one moment as the lifted version of yourself. Little by little, the fear softens. Little by little, the body trusts. Little by little, the mind learns love. Little by little, life begins to lift. Take one breath now. Let the face soften. Let the heart feel held. Let the hands rest open. Let the quiet room around you become gentle. Feel the breath moving through your chest. Feel the soft place that appears when you stop fighting yourself. Old fear says, will it really change? Will says, it is already changing in me. Old fear says, but I cannot see the whole path. Soul says, one step is enough. Old fear says, what if I fall back? Soul says, then I will return with love. The old heaviness may be like morning mist. It may still be there in some places. It may not disappear all at once, but the light is rising. And as the light rises, the mist begins to thin. What once felt solid begins to feel softer. What once felt final begins to feel movable. What once felt like your whole life begins to feel like a passing weather. This is what happens when your energy shifts. You begin to see differently. You begin to breathe differently. You begin to respond differently. The same situation may still be present, but you are no longer standing in front of it as the same old self. You are standing there with more love, more space, more wisdom, more steadiness. Before we close, let these words become the energy you carry from here. You do not have to carry yesterday's heaviness into tomorrow. You do not have to wake up and give fear the first word. You do not have to speak to yourself like the old pain spoke to you. You do not have to close your hands to every blessing. You do not have to wait for the whole life to change before one soft breath begins to lift you. Your life is allowed to rise gently. Your heart is allowed to feel safe. Your body is allowed to rest. Your mind is allowed to learn a new way. This is the whole practice in simple words. Open the window inside. Let one breath of fresh energy enter. Remember that your energy is the room your life enters. Stop feeding the heavy story. Calm the body. Choose love instead of fear. Speak words that heal. Notice the small good. Open your hands to receive. Live one moment as the lifted version of you. Return again when you forget. That is enough. This does not need to become another thing you use to judge yourself. This is not a test. It is a path. It is not a demand. It is an invitation. It is not about never feeling heavy again. It is about knowing how to return when heaviness comes. It is about not abandoning yourself in the old energy. It is about choosing gently and again the inner state that helps you live with more love. My energy is lifting now. My heart is returning to love. Life is opening in gentle ways. Good things are happening in my world now. Let these words rest inside you. Let them become simple. Let them become familiar. Let them become a soft place in the mind. May your energy lift in the places where it has felt heavy. May your body feel safe enough to soften. May your heart remember that it does not have to live closed forever. May your mind stop repeating the old story as if it is the only truth. May your words become kinder. May your attention become wiser. May your hands open to receive good in safe and peaceful ways. May the small good find you today. May you notice the breath, the lake, the cup, the quiet, the kindness, the idea, the next step. May you stop rejecting small blessings because they are not yet the whole answer. May gratitude become the first light in the room of your heart. May you choose one lifted response, one peaceful step, one loving sentence, one moment where the old energy reaches for you and you say, not like before. I am choosing love now. If this reached your heart, you may write, my life is beginning to lift. Let it be a simple promise to your own soul. My life is beginning to lift. Not someday only, not when everything is perfect. Here, now, in this breath. Your life does not have to become perfect before it begins to lift. Let it begin here in this breath, in this softer thought, in this loving return. Let it begin with the way you speak to yourself when no one else can hear. Let it begin with the way you place your hand over your heart instead of turning against yourself. Let it begin with the way you stop feeding the old story and start feeding the life that is trying to grow. You have learned that energy can shift now. You have learned that the inner room can change. You have learned that your attention is water, your words are seeds, your body needs safety. Love is a doorway. Gratitude is first light. Receiving is an open cup, and the lifted life begins with one lifted response. So do not leave this moment and return to the old heaviness without love. If the old energy comes back, meet it gently. If fear speaks again, answer with softness. If your body tightens, breathe. If your mind repeats the old sentence, rewrite it. If life feels slow, notice the small good. If a blessing comes near, open your hands. If you forget, Return. Breathe. Return. Choose. Rise. My energy is lifting now. My heart is returning to love. Life is opening in gentle ways. Good things are happening in my world now. Your life is not waiting for a perfect day to begin rising. It is beginning in the quiet choice you make now. One breath, one kind word, one open hand, one grateful thought, one loving step. Let the old mist lift. Let the new light enter. Let your heart believe, even a little, that life can meet you differently from here. Good things are happening in my world now.